Please help me to reach 1,000 subscribers. The text came in at 11:47 p.m., lighting up the bedroom like a flare in the dark. I miss you already. Tonight felt too short. It wasn't meant for me. I stared at her phone where it rested on the nightstand between us, buzzing softly, innocent as a sleeping animal. She was in the bathroom, the shower running, steam crawling under the door. For a moment I told myself it was a mistake. A wrong contact. A joke. Anything but what my chest already knew. I didn't touch the phone. I didn't need to. The words burned themselves into my eyes, into my bones. When she came out wrapped in a towel, humming like nothing in the world had shifted, I was still sitting there staring at the wall. You okay? She asked. Yeah, I said, and the lie tasted like metal. That was the beginning. Not the affair, I later realized, but my awakening. The moment the ground tilted just enough for me to notice. Over the next few weeks, the signs stacked quietly. Missed calls. She returned from the car. Her phone always face down now. A new password, she said, was for work security. She laughed less, touched me like she was checking a box. When I asked about her day, the answers came rehearsed and thin. I told myself I was paranoid. That marriage does this, turns you into a detective because you're afraid of losing the only witness to your life. I remembered how she used to text me during lunch, how we'd argue about what show to binge, how she'd fall asleep on my shoulder during bad movies. Those memories defended her better than any excuse she gave. Then one night she slipped again. She was in the kitchen, phone pressed to her ear, whispering. When she saw me, she jumped like a kid caught stealing cookies. I'll call you later, she said quickly, hanging up. Who was that? I asked. She shrugged. No one. Just a friend. A friend with a voice that made her smile like that? I didn't push. Not yet. I started noticing smells. New cologne clinging to her jacket, not mine. Receipts for coffee shops across town she never mentioned. I hated the person I was becoming, cataloging evidence like a stranger in my own marriage. The discovery wasn't dramatic. No lipstick on collars. No hotel receipts. Just her laptop left open on the couch one afternoon while she ran to the store. A chat window blinked in the corner. I shouldn't have looked. I know that. But trust had already cracked, and curiosity poured straight through. The messages weren't graphic. They were worse. Inside jokes. Complaints about me framed as concern. Little hearts. Plans for someday. She called it harmless later. Emotional. A slip. I sat there for a long time, listening to the refrigerator hum, feeling like I'd been replaced without being told. When she came home, I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I asked her to sit. She tried to explain before I even spoke. It didn't mean anything, she said. I was lonely. You've been distant. I nodded. I know I haven't been perfect. Relief flickered across her face. She thought this was a conversation we'd survive. What you did mattered, I said quietly. Not because you talked to someone. Because you chose to hide it. You chose to lie. Tears came then. Apologies stacked on top of each other. She swore it was over. That she loved me. That it was a mistake. Here's the part she didn't expect. I believed her. About the remorse at least. But belief didn't fix the damage. Love didn't erase the way my heart now flinched at her notifications. My reaction wasn't explosive. It was calm. Final. I need space, I said. Not to punish you. To remember who I am without this pain. She stared at me like I'd spoken another language. You're leaving, she whispered. I'm choosing myself, I answered. I packed a bag that night. Nothing dramatic. Just clothes, my watch, the photo of us from before everything fractured. At the door she asked if we could still fix it. Maybe, I said. But not by pretending this didn't matter. Months later I still think about that text sometimes. How small it looked. How heavy it felt. She thought her slip would fade, dissolve into apologies in time. What made it unforgettable wasn't anger or revenge. It was my refusal to shrink myself to keep the peace. I learned that betrayal doesn't always arrive screaming. Sometimes it whispers, and the bravest thing you can do is listen.